Did you know that Hawaii's population increased in 7 out of the 11 years from 2010 to 2021? However, more recently, there has been a shift as Hawaii's population decreased by 0.7% between 2020 and 2021. It's now among the top 3 states in the nation that people are leaving, particularly native Hawaiians, with 370,000 of them living in the continental US compared to 310,000 native Hawaiians residing in Hawaii. So why is Hawaii's population on the decline? Despite being considered one of the most beautiful states in the country, there are several reasons why people are leaving Hawaii, and today we'll explore these factors. High cost of living. The cost of living in Hawaii is incredibly high, ranking as the most expensive state in the United States, according to the Missouri Economic Research and Information Center. Hawaii's overall cost of living index stands at 184, far above the US average of 100. When we break it down, transportation in Hawaii has an index of 125.7, health at 118.1, utilities at 141.4, groceries at 150.1, and housing is exceptionally steep at 313.5. In simpler terms, living in Hawaii is not just expensive, it's extremely costly. One significant factor contributing to this high cost is Hawaii's geographical isolation from the mainland, which means that many everyday goods must be imported over long distances. Expensive real estate. We've already discussed how the high cost of living is pushing people out of Hawaii, and a significant factor in this is the exorbitant cost of purchasing a home in the Aloha state. As of March 2023, the median sale price for a home was a staggering $730,000. Hawaii holds the dubious distinction of being the most expensive state in the nation to buy a house, with a Zillow Home Value Index averaging over $834,000. Now, you might be wondering if buying a piece of land and constructing your dream home is a more affordable option. Unfortunately, that might not be the case either. According to Go Banking Rates, Hawaii also ranks as the most expensive state to purchase an acre of land, with the average lot costing over $983,000. The average price per acre stands at $75,465, making it the 4th highest in the nation. High on taxes. Hawaii carries one of the heaviest tax burdens among all 50 states in the US, ranking 2nd only to New York. The effective tax rate in Hawaii stands at a substantial 14.1%, a significant contributor to its high cost of living. Individual income tax burden is at 2.86%, placing it 10th highest nationally, and the total sales and excise tax burden is 6.71%, the highest among all states. Hawaii is isolated. It's likely not news that Hawaii is exceptionally isolated. It's actually recognized as the most remote population center on Earth, situated a staggering 2,400 miles from the US mainland. This geographical distance means that if you're aiming to reach the nearest state, California, you're still faced with a lengthy 5-hour flight. This isolation can pose challenges for individuals who have loved ones or connections in other parts of the country, or for those who simply yearn for a classic road trip experience. Additionally, it translates to slower shipping and extended waiting times for the arrival of various goods and services. Elevated rental prices. If you can't afford to buy a house or land in Hawaii, renting might seem like a viable option. However, it's not necessarily a more affordable choice. Hawaiians, in fact, allocate over 40% of their income toward rent, which is higher than any other state in the country. Let's delve into some typical rental costs in Hawaii. According to Rent.com, a one-bedroom apartment in Honolulu, on average, ranges from $1,350 to $2,000 per month, while a studio apartment averages around $1,770 per month. Consequently, many people are leaving Hawaii for places like Las Vegas, where the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is significantly cheaper at approximately $1,292 per month. Limited employment prospects. Hawaii is often ranked among the states with the least economic diversity in the United States. This means that if you're seeking employment in a specialized field or are looking for a variety of job opportunities across different industries, you might face challenges here. The reason for this is Hawaii's heavy reliance on tourism, which dominates its economy. In 2018, approximately 19% of jobs were in the leisure and hospitality sector, with another 19% in government. However, this dependence on tourism also made Hawaii vulnerable during the pandemic, when tourism essentially came to a standstill from January to April 2020. Hawaii's unemployment rate skyrocketed from 2.7% to 28.2%, underscoring the economic instability associated with such heavy reliance on a single industry. Horrible traffic. When you envision traffic nightmares, places like California, New York, or New Jersey probably come to mind. But here's a surprising fact. Hawaii takes the crown for the worst traffic congestion in the entire country. In the Aloha State, there are 4,439 miles of road and over 1 million registered vehicles, creating a staggering ratio of over 313 vehicles per mile of roadway. This translates to one thing: traffic, especially during tourist seasons. This judgment was based on various factors like the cost of owning and maintaining a vehicle, traffic and infrastructure, safety, access to vehicles, and maintenance services. Hawaii didn't fare well across the board, but it was particularly harsh on the wallet for vehicle ownership and maintenance, earning the 7th worst spot for traffic and infrastructure. Significant income inequality. As per WalletHub's data, Hawaii stands out for having one of the most significant wealth disparities in the nation when examined through the lens of race and ethnicity. A report from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, a think tank, underscores that this wealth gap in Hawaii is not only persistent, but has also been growing over the decades. The poorest 20% in Hawaii have an average gross income of $10,200 annually, while the wealthiest 1% in the state earn an average annual gross income of $948,000. However, this gap narrows slightly after taxes, with the wealthiest individuals paying 57 times more in taxes than the poorest. This means that after taxes, the wealthiest individuals still earn a staggering 103 times more than the poorest, accentuating an even more substantial wealth gap. Elevated homeless rate. In 2022, Hawaii faced a considerable challenge with homelessness, as the state had a homeless population rate of 41.43 per 10,000 people. This alarming statistic placed Hawaii in the unfortunate position of having the 5th highest homeless rate among all states in the US. This high rate of homelessness can largely be attributed to the issues we discussed earlier, notably the scarcity of affordable housing and the exceptionally high cost of living. Unfortunately, unless substantial changes are made, this issue is expected to persist and potentially even worsen in the coming years. That's a wrap for the reasons why are people moving out of Hawaii. If you learned something, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the following video. This is Vacation Awaits.